For only one race in Season 19, the Highline Racing League gets to turn away from the pavement, and while we're racing tonight, it's going to look completely different. That's right, it's a dirt race, and unlike any other track we've been to, even this track's pavement counterpart, drivers will slide up and down. It might not be uncontrollably, but it will be erratic. Welcome to the Highline Racing League Westlake Royal Building Products Premier Series. We return to Bristol, Tennessee. It looks a little bit different, but it is the Bristol Motor Speedway. And this iteration is the dirt configuration. We'll be using it for our 80-lap feature event and our heat race to set the qualifying lineup for tonight's festivities. Welcome back to FTN Broadcasting. I'll be your host for tonight's race. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing. As we get to business, the field is ready to roll. We've got about 19 drivers registered for this race. The Bronson Stafford on the way in the number 61, one of the part-time competitors. There's Joey Chapman and Matt Muir. Times are being taken as we speak, and the fastest on the board is held by Jim Fott. Two teammates, the Hoosier Buckeye Racing duo, hold the top times. Fott and Hampton with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Every driver in this race will make it to the main event tonight. We do not have 25 plus drivers. We have a total of 20, and all of which will be racing with us from beginning to end. We will have 8 laps to set the qualifying lineup. This is the hot lap, which will set the heat race procedure, which means that we're going to have time to reorder this grouping as Matt Muir takes additional times. He's up into 6th. Scott Zellner, now with 21 race victories, has himself to 12th in the qualifying standings, nobody beating Jim Fott to this point. Dawson Buchanan not yet on the way. Same goes for Adam Bozzi or Joshua Sim and Matthew Rodriguez. So everyone on the track has taken a time. We are still waiting on those 4 with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining. There still could be time to make it work. It hasn't happened yet, however, and we still wait as we're on standby to see if any other driver will join. There's DJ Stagner sliding around. DJ gets up to 10th in his qualifying run, and it'll come to a close there. Zellner and Chapman are the only drivers now racing. Getting those extra practice laps in. Matt Muir in the 70s still on the circuit as Matthew Rodriguez is actively connecting. Rodriguez is one of the 4 who's not taken a time so far, and it appears he won't have enough time to do so unless that 0-1 gets on the track right about now. That he does, and now Rodriguez with 1 minute to spare. We'll see if he makes the call. He'd have to get on the track immediately, though. He's now in the session, but he's going to have to get a move on. Rodriguez on the move, 48 seconds to go. Let's see if he makes it happen. Matthew will be the final driver to set a time. Sean Billman right now sits at 16th, and the gap between he and Jim Fott is 20 miles an hour and 5 seconds. Rodriguez gets going. He'll have 1 lap, ripping the top side, and you'll see that packing dirt as Matthew slows down. Gets to the inside of the track. He'll be at the back of the field no matter what. Unsure if this time will be counted as he gets the way to finish the lap. Rodriguez putters around the rest of the circuit and puts the last qualifying time in. That will sit at the back of the standings. The time is not officially counted. Qualifying concludes. Teammates take the front row for your first heat of the day. We'll have an 8-lap heat to begin the night, and we'll have our 80-lap main event to finish it. So 88 laps in total. This race is a brief one. It will not have any cautions and will set the qualifying lineup for the rest of the events. Let's talk about the starting grid for your 8-lap heat. This is effectively the first stage of the race. It will not count toward the 80-lap main feature, but it will set the lineup from here on out. Qualifying first and second place, it's Hoosier Buckeye Racing. They're a new 2-car team. The veteran in Tyler Hampton is now led by his rookie teammate. That's white, of course, Jim Fott, the white, red, and blue, number 21, putting it together for a career-best qualifying effort. Stafford. It is his first career pole position, and he looks ready to go against Tyler Hampton, his teammate, as they'll do battle from Bristol. Third place will be Lucas Lodato, the championship leading man. You'll also have Bronson Stafford, Roberto Ramirez, Matt Muir, Chad Winstead, and Ryan Potter. In 8th, 9th, and 10th go DJ Stagner, your final drivers on the grid. 11th place, Kenny Brooks, Sebastian Miller in 12th, Scott Zellner for 13th, and Joey Chapman returning to the circuit, P14 on the day. Adam Bozzi, he'll find himself just behind. Bozzi starts 17th, Dawson Buchanan goes 18th, Joshua Sim at 19th, and Matthew Rodriguez, the final driver to head to the circuit, will start 20th and last tonight in this 8-lap feature. It's only going to be 8 laps, no cautions in between. This will be a quick one-and-done run, and that will bring us to the 80-lap main race. So in effect, we're setting the grid for the main race, but this is every driver that will be in it. No drivers will be going home tonight. Everyone you see will make it through. Jim Fott and Tyler Hampton, the drivers to watch. As a collective, these two have been responsible for many a win, but Jim Fott has still not etched his name into the Highline Racing League history books. He has an opportunity now tonight to at least collect one heat victory. Stack up on the inside, Lodato into Jim Fott, but the green flag flies. 8 laps remain to set the grid. Fott gets away. Hampton fights on the high side, but Lodato blocks him. The 21's the only one that gets through. This is the first time everyone's together on the racetrack, and it looks like they're mostly holding it. Ryan Potter goes around. Potter into Morrissey, into Joey Chapman, spinning, sliding, and no cautions. That sends Potter to the back of the field regardless. Now Ryan Potter gets moving. Jim Fott still has the advantage. Ryan Potter fades back, and it looks like now the Swamp has their leading driver going for race victory. Of course, this will be for the official pole position in the main race, so it is an utmost importance for Lodato to try and capture it. Lucas goes up high. He's taking the top groove very serious. Jim Fott is trying to use the bottom, a crossover maneuver, and it looks like Lodato comes away with much more momentum. Lucas Lodato, 4 laps in of 8. He'll take the race lead. Jim Fott slides back to second. Now you think about whether or not the right thing to do is to push, or instead, if it comes down to waiting and looking for that main race to be your solution. If you're Jim Fott right now, 4 laps to go, there's still a very real chance he could take back the pole, but there's also a real chance that Chad Winstead gets it up to second. Across the line again for only 3 laps remaining, and it looks clear as day now. Fott's going to try to send it in. Nearly contact there. Lodato gets sent, and he'll go to the outside and follow third. Jim Fott really pushes to get the pole back, and so he does. 2 laps remaining. Jim Fott has it made. Battling fiercely with Lucas Lodato, although Lodato is not done yet. He'll have to deal with the second of the Hoosier Buckeye teammates in Tyler Hampton, and it looks like he will not have the opportunity now to do it again. White flag flies for Jim Fott in the number 21, and the Exalta Chevrolet Camaro will hold on to the position that he started with and will officially grab the pole position, if not for Chad Winstead. Chad tries, but can't get through. Fott collects the pole, and Winstead goes second. Lodato and Hampton are third and fourth. Matt Muir finishes up the top 5, and this 8-lap sprint comes to a close. Checkered flag is out. Fott maintains top position, and qualifying is concluded from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Our second trip here this year, our first in dirt. Ty Smith, Michael, thank you both for stopping by. Great to have you here. Fans in the Highline Racing League chat room, if you got a favorite driver, make sure to let us know, and we'll be hearing, of course, and taking shout-outs all throughout the night. If you got a favorite driver still with us, of course, we got 20 drivers. Some of these guys, maybe later in the season, tapering off, but we got a strong field regardless. Former champions, race winners this season, the all-time winningest driver in Scott Zellner. Lucas Lodato is going toe-to-toe with Zellner in the championship race. Let's talk about that before we head into business. Lodato, of course, going to have a strong qualifying effort. He will take P3, but overall, he only leads now by 43 points over Scott Zellner. Zellner having a banner race last week, just enough to keep him in contention. DJ Stagner as well, now 54 points back. The top three drivers within a race's worth of points. Everyone else slowly but surely obscuring themselves from the battle. It really is going to come down to Lucas Lodato just holding his position from here. Not a lot of races left on the calendar. This is your 13th of 15, which means 2 more opportunities from here, and the championship would be sealed. Nothing is confirmed now, and with Jim Font in the number 21 up at the front, he could be the wild card of the night. 80 laps remain on the table. We just went through our first 8-lap sprint, and it was a good time for drivers to shake down their cars and figure out what's going on. The Bristol Dirt configuration first made its appearance in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2021, the final year of the Gen 6 stock car. It was at that point that Joey Logano went on a tear throughout the weekend and was able to establish victory. Tonight, it's the 21, not the 22 up in front. We'll see what happens now as we get to your main feature. 80 laps from Bristol. Conditions are pretty well off for the fans and the drivers. Track temp of 82, ambient temperature of 78, and partly cloudy skies with the sun shining through. Jim Font showed us what he's made of last time by. We'll see if Lucas Lodato repays the favor. Up high, though, Chad Winstead surges as we're underway with the Bristol Dirt Derby. Chad Winstead firmly comes away ahead of the pack, and it's 3 wide slightly and briefly at that with Joshua Sim, Scott Zellner, and Matt Muir. Watch out now for drivers driving erratic. To put it bluntly, it's going to be challenging for everyone to work it together for 80 laps on a tight circuit with less grip than usual. 4 wide nearly there for Kenny Brooks and Dawson Buchanan, and oftentimes the right thing to do is just to back out of battle. Not often is that incentivized or advised for a driver, but in this case, it's pretty simple. You do not want to get yourself in the wrong end of a circumstance, as you'll get turned all the way around. Better to be patient than it is to be risky at a track like Bristol. And I think it's even more so with this dirt configuration. Chad Winstead leads the opening 5 laps. Tyler Hampton takes second. Jim Font, the number 21, he's there in 5th now. Hoosier Buckeye Racing still having both of their drivers inside the top 5 and a tremendous start for them. Swamp Motorsports, the dominant team, of course, having 2 of their men in DJ Stagner and Lucas Lodato. That wasn't subject to change in the slightest, and looks like it's still the case. The Jonestown Jet and Caleb Morrissey is coming through, though. Morrissey takes it up almost to the darker side of that dirt, and that's where drivers are really trying to get that seam, that upper seam, to get put together. You might see where the dirt is getting packed in with a little bit more reflection, and that's where those drivers are really putting in the grooves. We're looking at about 2 or 3 grooves put in right now. Some drivers are trying the bottom like Jim Font, others the middle like Stagner, and the high side, of course, for Caleb Morrissey. As you can see here from Morrissey, a little bit shakier in these last few laps, but he doesn't have a lot of help in front of him really building that line in. Only now DJ Stagner heads up. Dirt, as it does anywhere else, works on the racetrack by building the groove. You can't just expect for the dirt to work your way if there's no padding or no line through. So drivers being consistent really benefits them. The track has to come into its own as time progresses. And for Winstead right now with that clean air, he really sets the tone as to who goes where. Not easy to be that leading man and have to deal with the foreign ground. So far, Chad has done so with excellent timing, and only Chad Winstead's really stayed with them. Of course, Tyler Hampton cautions out. Back of the field, the incident flies, and it looks like involved is Adam Bozzi. Bozzi involved, the caution's out. Let's take a look back and see what happened to the 27. Bozzi got up in the wall, hit Kenny Brooks and company, and came down and in. One more replay now, and it'll show a different angle. And contact from Matthew Rodriguez. That's the catalyst. A slight tap. Rodriguez really missing the corner, and the 27 is sent around. Nearly T-boned by Kenny Brooks, then hit by Ryan Potter. It's his second incident of the night. And this time around, really little that Potter could do as Bozzi erratically spun down the circuit. Yellow flag, 11 laps in out of 80. Chad Winstead leads the way. Chad's led almost every green flag lap so far in the day, including your heat. Those are in fact the only ones of which that he missed. He's going to lead this 11th lap and maintain total dominance over this opening portion of our main feature. Coming to one lap to green, this time by. Looking further back and you'll see Adam Bozzi putting himself together after that incident, down on pit road, still on the lead lap. The only driver off of it is Roberto Ramirez. Ramirez just reconnected and is only 10 laps down by virtue of that first caution. That's really what saved him. Just got on the track, the 41's on the way, but for Ramirez, this is detrimental. Reminder, he's fourth in the championship standings, going toe-to-toe with Sebastian Miller and Chad Winstead, both of which having significantly better runs right now. So Ramirez might fall out of the top 5 in points. Ramirez lines up Joey Chapman and Sebastian Miller. Minor contact there. That's something we're going to see all night long. Luckily, these Gen 6 stock cars can handle it, but the beating and banging is going to be more frequent than even the short tracks with pavement. A lot of times, drivers will be physically leaning on each other, and since the grip from the pavement isn't all too overpowering, these tires aren't going to call for any major incidents. Drivers will be allowed and will be sometimes encouraged to go at each other side by side. As long as they're level-headed about it, it won't be much of an issue. First incident was brief, and the caution flies as we're ready to get back to business for lap 15. Tyler Hampton down low, Chad Winstead up top. Hoosier Buckeye Racing still having a shot here. Jim Fott fades a little bit further than he would like. He's in 7th place here, but a strong qualification is going to be one of those big things, a boost from here. Joshua Sim, Matt Muir, and Dylan Poteet make up the final drivers in the top 10, and the Winstead crew is ready to keep things rolling strong. Green flags out again for Chad Winstead, Lucas Lodato, DJ Stagner, and Tyler Hampton, all of which slide further back, and it is Winstead who gets away again. Contact, Lucas Lodato there with Tyler Hampton, but again, these drivers can lean on each other and get away with it. Scott Zellner fades. He'll go 3 wide with Matt Muir and Joshua Sim. Side by side, Zellner able to use the bottom to put himself back together. Cautions out again. An incident, our second of the night, and it's going to involve Bronson Stafford. Watch this. 61 is Stafford, contact with Ryan Potter. Potter in his 3rd incident of the day. He has not escaped the trouble. And this time he was one of the catalysts, spinning the 61 around, and then he was hit by Kenny Brooks. Yellow flag flies. 17 laps in out of 80. And we're about the quarter-way point of this race. It only just begun, yet the majority of the night, well, it hasn't come to pass yet. but we're rapidly approaching halfway. Not expecting to see drivers go down to pit road all too much. It might be surprising to see anything more than twice. So far, the leaders have opted to stay out on the circuit. And understandably, given how few laps we've had under green and given how few laps we've had in total, that's the right decision to make. Lucas Lodato stays second. DJ Stagner drops to fifth. Fott gets one spot back. He will go P6 now. Dylan Poteet, 11th up to 10th. Sebastian Miller from 18th up to 11th. He finds himself now gaining 7 places. Kenny Brooks, 17th to 12th. Joey Chapman, 12th to 13th. Matthew Rodriguez, P10 to P14. Bronson Stafford down 2 places, as is Ryan Potter. And still, it looks like 19 drivers on the lead lap. The only of which off it is Roberto Ramirez. Ramirez in the 41 finds himself still 20th and last. He would need an abundance of cautions to really make his way through. Chad Winstead leading. Lodato second. Morrissey third. Tyler Hampton fourth. Come back to green after lap 20. So begins another portion of this race. Strategy isn't going to be one of the most important things to keep an eye out for, but big intentions from here to keep it green. Small incidents in the back have been interrupting the flow, but otherwise most drivers have kept it calm up and ahead. Winstead will lead once more. Lodato and Morrissey now second and third. Caleb up to the highest spot he's had the whole night. For lap 21, it's restart number 2. We'll come across the line once more, extending the restart ever so slightly. Roberto Ramirez still staying in the back here. It looks like laps will not be awarded to the 41 team on this caution. Adam Bozzi is the final driver on the lead lap. Currently runs in 19th. It's side by side coming toward 3 and 4, and the field is ready. Of your top 10 qualifiers, 9 of which remain in that top 10, the only of which falling back is Matthew Rodriguez, 10th to 12th, with a very real possibility he makes it back in even a lap. Green flag flies again. Inside is not going to hold a candle to Chad Winstead. He'll go 3 for 3 on starts on the night. Lead drivers get through well, watch behind, and this is where it is tight. Side by side, even 3 wide at times, 1 in the wall, that's Joey Chapman in the 19. It is contentious, and most importantly, it is challenging to make it through for position. Drivers who desperately need to, like some of the Swamp Motorsports crew, such as maybe Sebastian Miller, for instance, needing to make up points, will struggle big. It doesn't matter what driver or who you are, that struggle is for everyone. The leaders having that benefit of qualifying, and tonight that's going to make a significant change to how drivers perform. The problem really does not come from whether or not you're working with the right guys, and more so comes down to your individual times. Not a team sport, these dirt races often are. Collaboration, not like the super speedways. It comes down to individual preference and finding what you need. Cautioned out again, it's the third of the night. Dawson Buchanan appears involved. And yes, he was. Buchanan spun across the line. Here is your replay. Dawson with big trouble. And while he's able to save himself and spin out of it, it's going to cause the yellow flag regardless. Joey Chapman and Ryan Potter avoids it this time. Buchanan goes spinning. Only to spin for Potter. He has found misfortune every which way so far. While it's a hard-knock race so far for the 99 team, Dawson Buchanan gets the worst of it and goes for a full 360. The caution's out. Pit road is now in for the back half of the field. You'll see 12th in them remain, but 14th on back, Bronson Stafford is taking, and it looks like the back part of the field will go. The only exception here is Roberto Ramirez, who remains 10 laps down, and it looks like his only hope to salvage position would come down to drivers retiring from this race. "27 laps out of 80. We'll restart at about lap 30 with this one. Pit strategy is going to be practically a collective tonight. As you can see, the leading drivers remain out. The only time we might see drivers come in is at about that midway point, which we mentioned. That's a firm possibility. The 99 of Potter getting back to business. Ryan in 18th now. Gets through. Caleb Morrissey is now going to be beside the number 60 of Chad Winstead. This is the highest position that the number 6 team has been in all night long. One of the 4 horsemen, a winner in previous seasons, still looking for that first on this campaign, season 19. Channel Lock number 6 crew getting close to victory earlier in the season. One of the most aggressive drivers in the mile and a halves. His strategies oftentimes result in contentious racing, to put it lightly. But oftentimes, he's made it work out. And I think for Morrissey, that's the big thing. He knows that his strategies, when they're risk-taking, can prove successful. Tonight at Bristol Dirt, a track that often enforces during the long runs that conservative strategy, but later on is exciting. It might tend to suit Morrissey's general style of racing. He's won at the big tracks like Talladega. He's made it exciting at circuits like Chicagoland. While the 6 team has not yet won anything, although Winstead and Lodato recently have, Caleb might be one to watch for certain. Lap 31, restart number 3. Looks like the average run, lengthwise, is coming to about 8 laps apiece. That first run, the longest of which so far. Ready to roll for the number 60 of Chad Winstead. Green flag's out now for the 60 crew, and again, that outside is unstoppable. Green flag for Chad, and Lucas Lodato tries to get things going to fight for second. Contact for the race lead, but the caution's out. We'll take a look back, an immediate incident here. And it looks like Matt Muir involved with pole sitter Jim Fott. The 21 of Fott has a problem. He gets spun around full on by Matt Muir, taking up the track, and the caution's out. Muir almost gets down into both Terry Brooks and Ryan Potter, but Potter, of the 5 incidents we've had today, avoids this one. And the great thing for the 99 crew, that'll get him a few positions and save him the hassle of going down for extra damage repair. Chad Winstead remains our leader. While Lucas Lodato is absolutely close, that often comes down to circumstance in situations like this. Winstead has led every lap so far in this race, and while he wasn't able to grab the pole position, jumping off the line in our initial start was the difference maker. Chad is going to lead the first half consecutively, it appears, as we are set to restart at about lap number 37. So almost by default now, he will have that title of our leading lap winner of the day, which means he'll lead the majority of which, 40 or more. And he's got that hard work cut out for him. He's only got to go a few more laps. Third place is where Caleb Morrissey drops back to on that quick run. Morrissey's rise up the field started with a 15th place qualifying run in hot lap timing. Not the most impressive by any means, but he was able to gain 8 spots to get up to 7th in only 8 laps during our heat. Now he's up 4 positions more, and when you account for that total journey, he's made up a total of 12 places on the racetrack tonight, the most of anyone so far, including and accounting for the heats. Of course, he's gained only 4 in the main race. But when you look back to where it started, he could have been way back to start. That might have hurt him to this point now. We'll restart at lap 37 officially. DJ Stagner opts for the 4th place position on the bottom. It'll be Scott Zellner just behind him here. Lucas Lodato, now they're 2nd. Swamp Motorsports lined up on the inside. Swamp down low, both Chevrolet Camaros, manufactured teammates in Queen City Racing, and the 4 Horsemen up on top for Ford. We'll see which comes out advantageous. So far, it's been 3 for 3 on the high side. And with Winstead getting a chance to jump again, it could be 4 for 4. Winstead proves unbeatable. He'll take another car length as we head back to racing. Lucas Lodato immediately surges to the inside and will try to go for the crossover move. A caution could be imminent, and it means for Lodato, he's got to try. At the line, barely leading, was Chad Winstead, but Lucas Lodato is there. And not only that, but now he's trying to squeeze that 60 up top, and that's going to bottleneck his momentum. Lucas Lodato, after 38 laps, no longer the leader is Winstead. It might be Morrissey. Caution's out there, 3 wide. Caleb will lead at the stripe. 5th caution, Kenny Brooks. Watch this. Kenny in the 54 involved at the time of the wreck. And it looks like he has the worst hit of all. The 54 team here, coming through turns 3 and 4. Contact. Dawson Buchanan sends him down the track. Caution. Simple incident, but unfortunately Brooks not able to get away from that one. Quarter panel contact is lethal. To lap 40. Get back to work. Halfway down and halfway remaining for the Highline Racing League field, and so far Caleb Morrissey has been a man on a mission, and he finally got a chance to really show what he's made of, diving to the inside and now holding the advantage over the field. We'll go back green with less than 40 laps remaining, and Morrissey will hold fort. Halfway through tonight's event, the top 10 goes as follows. Caleb Morrissey leads over Lucas Lodato, Chad Winstead in 3rd, Tyler Hampton 4th, and DJ Stagner P5. Scott Zellner will be 6th place with Joshua Simeon 7th, Dylan Poteet 8th, Jim Fought 9th, and Sebastian Miller rounds out the top 10. 40 laps to go, and we'd like to thank iRacing Motorsport Simulations for their assistance in making tonight's coverage possible. iRacing.com is the world's leader in online simulation racing with stock car racing, open wheel action, dirt, and pavement. Anything from the classics of the 1950s and 60s to contemporary motorsport, iRacing has you covered. Visit their website today at iRacing.com to start your sim racing journey. We'll return before your restart, but until then, from the Bristol Dirt Derby, enjoy a brief message from our friends at iRacing.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
37 laps for Lucas Lodato, Caleb Morrissey, and the rest of the Highline Racing League field to settle amongst themselves. Fifth restart coming right up, and for the first time tonight, it will not be Winstead in control, but instead on the high side, Caleb Morrissey. Off the jump, Caleb Morrissey with a car length, and he'll pull Winstead through. Green flags out for Winstead to dive to the bottom. Lodato goes lower. 3 wide further behind, it's going to be Scott Zellner, Tyler Hampton and company. The front half of the field has gotten away well all night long. The back half is where the troubles lie. And it looks like, again, it's going to be straight off the first lap. Oh, Billman in the wall. He'll spin rapidly. The caution is out. Sean Billman pulverized off of turn 4. Take a look. And a horrible hit. He hit the turn 4 wall the wrong way. And that was the difference between having it together just right and getting off the corner and getting slammed through. Hit, spin, and Roberto Ramirez adds collateral. Caleb Morrissey with 35 laps remaining was still the advantageous man. As you can see, nobody's gone down to pit road with this leading group. 80 laps on the table. It's only about 40 miles. Pit road appears to be unnecessary for these drivers today. Track position rules everything. Again, of your top 10 qualifiers, it appears that still 8 of which are at the front of the field in the top 10. The only exceptions are 10th to 12th, still Matthew Rodriguez, and 5th to 13th, Matt Muir. An 80% consistency rate over more than half of this event goes to show how important qualifying is, even in the later stages. Morrissey will have control on the high side. It proves that it's not just Chad Winstead with the magic up top, but instead that the high groove is preferential. Nobody on the low side seems to have the grit to get things going, and no matter if it's Winstead or Morrissey or anyone else, the top side is the best place to go for a restart. We will restart with 31 laps remaining on the calendar, of course, of laps coming through. 2 more races remain after this in the Highline Racing League. We'll be taking next week off of FTN Broadcasting and bringing the schedule back for the remaining 2 events. Championship night is coming very soon as well, and it's within the month. That's how close we are now to ending Season 19. May 29th is your championship week. May 22nd is your penultimate race, and that's the next race on the schedule from here. For championship contenders, there are only 2 more opportunities to extend the points advantage or claw it back if you're not Lucas Lodato. Lodato having a good race tonight would be pivotal to his championship standing. And if he finishes on the podium, it would be nearly game, set, and match heading into our penultimate race. Lodato and Morrissey are side by side with each other here. Going to be one more lap of pit road for the iRacing pace car. The Lodato team still has yet to lead a lap officially. Caleb Morrissey swiping briefly from the Lodato crew, and Chad Winstead now back in third. Caleb's been waiting for the chance to win this season, and a night like this, it's gone his way so far. To slowly but surely rise the ranks, execution at the end is what matters. Green flag's out again. Caleb Morrissey hits the gas pedal, and he's got it moving. To the inside goes Lucas Lodato. He'll block big Chad Winstead. With a block like that, Chad Winstead's going to be in firm trouble. He's able to get himself away from that one, luckily, and not have any damage. Nevertheless, DJ Stagner now in the 5th position gets up in the wall, and they're all scraping up high. Caleb Morrissey gets what he wants, gets what he needs, and keeps things moving. 29 laps remaining here. Caleb coming across the line now only has 28 laps to go. 13th to 8th. That's the move so far for Scott Zellner based on his heat calculations. And of course, when you account for the heats, he's one of the biggest movers. Side by side with Joshua Sim and DJ Stagner. Watch out now for the number 61. That's going to be Bronson Stafford. 4th down to 8th on the day for Tyler Hampton. Getting close to Joshua Sim. Can't quite cut it. But Jim Fott, teammate for the number 21 team, it looks like now he's on the way back for a big rebound. Scott Zellner looking low. Still can't quite get anything out of it. He'll remain in 4th place. DJ Stagner drops to 5th. Lodato, Morrissey, Winstead, 1, 2, 3. That's the way they roll with 26 laps remaining. Lodato drifts, takes it up high. He's up to the ceiling now, and he's gotten it from Caleb Morrissey. Morrissey going to be battered on the higher groove as Chad Winstead takes for 2nd. Lodato's now got the edge over everyone. And Zellner's going to try to go for 3rd. Morrissey up in the wall, puts it together, slightly overcorrects, and while no big damage, it looks like now some fluctuations inside the cockpit are causing him troubles. 24 laps to go. Lodato is out in the head, and he is almost out of sight. Chad Winstead P2, Scott Zellner P3, and it's going to be 3 wide. Hampton fought. Morrissey, Caleb Morrissey slides it up the track, sends it up there, and he's going to get battered further. Now really facing the heat, Caleb Morrissey having his struggle, cautions out. Yellow flag flies, and it does at the back of the field. Watch what happens. Rodriguez was coming through at the time of the incident, and as he slows down, you'll see there, number 19 is Joey Chapman, watching to see whether or not he was involved as the caution is out. Leaders get away, as does the back of the field, and the yellow flag flies regardless. Joey Chapman, the only man of which who looks to have fallen back there. So just confirming what happened. Smoke billowing there, Matt Muir and company. Very close, but it didn't look like any serious contact at the upper mid-pack. Nevertheless, yellow flag flies with 21 laps remaining. Lap count coming down, and we're ready to get back to work. We'll have fewer than 25 laps to go from this point, and as always, live on FTN Broadcasting, we'd like to thank the Westlake Royal Building Products Group for putting the Highline Racing League together for the past three seasons. The reason being, of course, they're our premier partner, and they've been with us now for a long while. They're also sponsors for Terry and Kenny Brooks. You'll see Kenny right now at number 54, and he's having a good night and finds himself up 4 spots based on where he qualified after the heat race. Looking for further improvements, Kenny's on the move now, and he's got the ASC Services and Supply branding. Terry Brooks usually mans the Westlake branding machine in the number 23. Time to spare, Caleb Morrissey has disconnected for the night, and it looks like he's going to call it. He was under yellow with us and has still parked it. So an interesting call as Morrissey is out of tonight's event. And as you can see here, he was with us, and it looks like apparently he was until he wasn't. So that's a winning contender out of the way for the field here, as Chad Winstead will go toe-to-toe with Lucas Lodato. "19 laps remaining. Chad Winstead was the dominant man for the first half. Ever since that point, he's lost grip, but he hasn't lost touch. He's still right there, and he's set to bring it back together. 37 laps in, he led the first 37 consecutive, and ever since then, he has not led a lap. One lap to green now. It'll be 17 laps to go. Jim Fott follows Chad Winstead, your pole sitter, following your driver with the most laps led. Gaping Ginger, Connor Holden, thank you both for stopping by as well. The Swamp holds firm ground up on top. Lodato would have the advantage on the outside. He'll use it well, but Chad Winstead will match him. Green flag's out, and Winstead surges to the bottom. Nearly contact there. The 7 of Lodato gets boxed up high. Side by side, 16 laps to go right up next. Chad Winstead stays tight to Lucas Lodato here. The high groove is really working well for him, and he's going to have to back out. Winstead does. That gives Scott Zellner second place. Top 2 in the championship standings, first and second. Cautions out, 16 laps to go. Take a look at this. Yellow flag flies as the Hornet's nest comes apart. Rodriguez was loose, and the incident occurs just after the fact. Yellow flag is out. Looking to see who exactly was involved, but as you can see, again, the field looked to be just fine. One more look. Joey Chapman getting up and in the wall. And it was dicey up in front. There it happens. Slowing it down. The field comes to a standstill. Safety yellow. 14 laps to go. Now less than 10 will remain from here. With a little bit of time before we go green flag racing, we're going to step aside one last time with a special thanks for Westlake Royal Building Products. Grab your popcorn as the Dirt Derby is about to come to its epic conclusion. Lucas Lodato and Chad Winstead are set to go side by side and head to head. You're watching live on FTN Broadcasting. We'll have about 10 to go from here. Stay tuned. We'll return right after this.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Drivers coming together and getting ready to roll. 2 laps to green. We'll get back at it with 10 exactly. Lucas Lodato again able to fend off the number 60 of Winstead. Scott Zellner, Tyler Hampton, the second row, Jim Fott, and Bronson Stafford from 13th on the starting grid is now up to 6th. One lap to green. The high side gets away. It could be an open and shut case for Lodato. If not, could be Chad Winstead for the taking, or Zellner, or Hampton. Any of them, and any of those on back. Back to business for the number 7. And this restart could be everything. 10 laps remaining in the Dirt Derby. Lucas Lodato with the car length. That's what he needed. Lodato pulls away when it matters most, looking for win number 5. The last time he was close, the driver of the number 17. Lodato had his own teammate take him out. Side-by-side contact for second place. They'll dive down the circuit. Dylan Poteet also involved. It's a track blocker, and the caution's out. 2 incidents at once. Slow the field and bring it down to nothing. Winstead, big hit there with Tyler Hampton. Jim Fott turns as well. Watch this. Dylan Poteet, Matt Muir, Joshua Sim, Kenny Brooks all together. Then Seb Miller and Dawson Buchanan and Joey Chapman make contact. And Adam Bozzi hit by Ryan Potter. Eight to go. We're going to have less than 5 to finish it here. Lucas Lodato, if that was the final run, it most likely would have been his. A restart like that, if he could replicate it, it would be a race winner, without a doubt. But now to do it again is easier said than done. It is highly likely that Chad Winstead is going to choose to follow the number 7 here. Of course, Lodato with the advantage would choose wherever he would like. And we'll see whether or not Scott Zellner chooses to go up top, recognizing the importance of the groove, or he'll try to go head-to-head and slide to the inside. Leader's choice? The field has to follow from there. It's all up to Lodato as he looks to avenge the victory from the Milwaukee Mile, which Sebastian Miller came through with, and bring it back to the checkered flag. One more victory for Lodato could be game, set, and match for the championship. A win tonight would be pivotal. Six laps to go. We will restart with only 4 laps remaining at the very most. And it might just come down to 3. Call on the field is currently no extension to the caution. They'll give them 4 laps and let them loose. Now that final extension given, 3 laps, 1.5 miles. If the white flag flies, this race is official. Lucas Lodato needs the restart of the night if he wants to walk away with this win. Scott Zellner on the push for what could be his 22nd career victory, and a dagger to the mind of Lucas Lodato and team. His victory was perhaps more important for the championship race than Lodato's. Chad Winstead to play spoiler and avenge that first half of the night he's had. Well, he just needs 2 more positions, and it will only take him 3 more laps. The pace truck says goodnight. Lucas Lodato needs to stay alert on this one. When the green flag falls, it's from here to victory, and there's no going back. Scott Zellner tries to keep pace, but Lucas Lodato does what he needs to. He'll pull a car length and a half, and he's got it ahead. Lucas Lodato surges, and Scott Zellner for P2 has himself right there. 2 laps to go, but Lodato's restart was everything. For win number 5, he just has to keep it together. He'll slam the wall big, though. That could help out for Zellner's cause. It can just keep it together. We're going to overtime. Back of the field, and we'll only have 2 laps to settle it. And it happens all the way back. You can see Ryan Potter making it through. Bronson Stafford in the 61 involved. Contact clipped by Matthew Rodriguez hits Kenny Brooks side by side. And just like that, it'll be even fewer laps and even lesser opportunity for the field to make it happen. Lodato has now pulled off twice to restart for victory. Third time might not be the charm. No guarantees yet. Scott Zellner has gotten 2 big breaks. That's for certain. And with this final chance, and this is the definitive final chance, there is no going back. This is our only green-white checkered attempt, so no matter what, the race will end on this run. It is final, and the laps are finite. They're ticking down as we speak. The Highline Racing League does not employ a 3 restart system, which means this is it. If the yellow flag flies, the race automatically ends and scoring is determined by the timing loops on the racing circuit. If not, and if we stay under green, however, that's when you're going to see the race to the white flag. When we hit the white, the race is official, no matter what. One to green now, the signal given, and it looks like our final lap of the night will be lap 86. Zellner low, Lodato high. The iRacing pace car will give its final lap around this time through. And the high groove has been so potent on these restarts, Lodato just needs to hang on for the best opportunity. One of the very few nights where not a driver in the field visited pit road, in the front of the pack anyway. Everyone in the top 5 is still on their original strategy call and has decided to use it from beginning to end. Only 40 miles, and now we're ready to settle in. It's Lucas Lodato and Scott Zellner, separated by 43 points coming into the night. The difference maker will be this run. The turn 4 exit could be the difference between victory and defeat. Lucas Lodato knows this. Off the line again. He'll get it going for another car length. Side by side. No contact behind. Scott Zellner's at the field's mercy with 2 laps remaining. Zellner to the inside. Hoping to stick a nose out. Coming into turn 3. Scott is there. Side by side. Lodato sent up the track. The number 2 team with the advantage. 1 lap to go. Chad Winstead 3 wide now with Lodato and Hampton. They'll all send each other up the circuit. Lodato wrecks, Winstead wrecks, and Zellner comes through again for his 22nd career victory in a pivotal move in the championship race. The title fight's not over yet. Scott Zellner wins from Bristol. Lodato settles for 6th. And Scott Zellner of the 4 Horsemen lets it all play out. He led 2 laps tonight, both of which the most important. The winningest driver to ever do it proves again and again he still has the stuff. Lodato's reign of dominance is certainly far from over, but if there's one man who's going to challenge it, you're looking at him right here. Scott Zellner, take a bow. As the 2 team finds victory again, the night comes to a close. The Dirt Derby for the Highline Racing League, results go as follows. It's Scott Zellner over Tyler Hampton and DJ Stagner, positions 1, 2, and 3. Then Joshua Sim comes away with a career high in 4th. 5th place is then Lucas Lodato no longer. He gets pushed back as Matt Muir makes his way through. It'll be Sebastian Miller 7th, Dawson Buchanan then in 8th, Dylan Poteet in 9th, and Kenny Brooks for P10. 11th place on the lineup today is immediately subsequent. That will be the number 19 of Joey Chapman. Chapman comes through over Bronson Stafford. It'll be 13th in Ryan Potter. Potter had some early troubles, but for the most part anyway, was able to recover. You'll have 14th place, Sean Billman. Matthew Rodriguez, 15th. Chad Winstead in 16th, and Adam Bozzi, 17th. Jim Font, Caleb Morrissey, and Roberto Ramirez, your final drivers on the night. Of course, Scott Zellner, the man of the hour. We're about to get a word from all of your top 3 finishers live on FTN Broadcasting. Zellner started this qualifying run, of course, from the heat to the starting grid. He made up 5 spots, 13th to 8th. So he started in P13 overall based on hot lap timing. And over the course of this event, he made up 8 places to win outright. It was a hard charge, and it wasn't easy. But Scott Zellner takes the difficulty in stride and wins again. He needed that win to stay in the championship fight. And just as the door keeps getting closer and closer to shutting, Scott Zellner keeps it open. And he will not rest at this rate until it stays open for good. Let's hear now from your race winner, the man of the hour, the number 2 of Scott Zellner. 43 points the gap coming in tonight, and Scott, by all accounts, to keep the championship race going, a victory would be everything. You led 2 laps, and you started 13th in the first heat. You win regardless. What a performance. It might not have been easy, and it might not have been dominant, but that was everything this team needed.
Yeah, there's only one lap that pays the bucks, So just I'm glad that Lucas gave me the bottom because I thought the bottom was a better lane to restart in. That's how I worked my way up from like eighth up to top three. A lot of attrition out there, though. I'm more of a rhythm driver, so having all these yellows with no green flag laps was hurting me a little bit, I think. But yeah, I saw like if we were doing a restart, the bottom lane was definitely what I thought was the fastest lane. And then I mean I just threw a slider in turn three. That was all I could do, and it didn't stick very well, but I got the job done. That's all you can ask for.
And the difference maker were those final laps, the overtime finish. But I'd like to talk first and foremost about your rise up the ranks. Hot lap qualifying only got you up to 13th place, and you made up 5 in the 8-lap heat. Was there any cause particularly for the struggle in the opening pre-race portion?
Yeah, that was total driver error. The first qualifying lap, I brushed the wall, so that invalidated my lap. And then the second lap, I didn't get the car rotated enough on entry, so I kind of just slid up the track with the nose. So made a pretty big hole to dig out of. But in the heat race, I went 13th to 8th, passing on the bottom in the slick. So kind of just kept that in the back of my mind and utilized that coming to the checkered there.
2 laps the difference between you and Lucas Lodato. The restart game proved oh so important, and while Lodato held it dominant on the high side, you figured out when no one else could down low. Was there any particular trick compared to your competitors that you used there?
It was just the shorter way around, and it was pretty greased up. So when you were entering turn one, it was kind of easier for me to get the car rotated, and I think it was a little bit of a struggle whenever I restarted on the top. And I would kind of wash up into the wall. So just sticking to it on the bottom, being a bottom feeder. It's pretty much what I'm known for in dirt racing to begin with. I'm not usually a high side kind of person. I like riding in the dirt and in the slick, or in the bottom on the slick. So yeah, just I'm honestly shocked that I won. I was expecting a top 5, but yeah, just the circumstances showed themselves and took advantage.
Scott Zellner, 2 races remain, and the championship picture now appears more open than ever before. We got ourselves an off week and a cookie-cutter race coming up, now with a realistic chance to make it happen and make this second half of the season one for victory. What do you feel about these next 2 races and the chance to secure the title?
I love the track choices. Cookie cutters are my bread and butter. Honestly, if I had to choose, I really hope we go to Texas because I feel like I'm the only person in the world that really likes Texas. And yeah, the only goal is to beat Lucas, and I think Lucas either led the most laps or was close to leading the most laps tonight. So try to hopefully capitalize on some mistakes on his end, and hopefully we can accumulate some bonus points because I know he has like 50 bonus points. It's crazy. He's been far and beyond the more dominant driver the first half of the season, but hopefully applying a little bit of pressure, exposes a little bit of weakness here coming down the stretch.
Scott Zellner figuring things out when it matters most and extending that all-time win record, surpassing 20 this season. If that wasn't good enough, it's your 3rd on the campaign and your 22nd total. Big victory in Bristol. Scott, anything else you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to shout out to my teammates. Only Caleb was able to make it tonight, and he would have won this race if he didn't get a meatball. Just unfortunate when he got past, he got put into the fence. So shout out to Caleb. It was fun, learning from him tonight. And shout out to my family that watches each and every week. Shout out to FTN, and thanks to Adam for keeping this league going. And thank you to Westlake Royal Building Products for keeping the series sponsored. It's nice to have them sponsor us every season.
Scott Zellner, victory from the Dirt Bristol configuration, and with 2 races to go, the championship race is tighter than ever. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, David.
Scott on the move. Up next will be the number 5 of Tyler Hampton. Hampton today found himself strong from beginning to end, and it looks like for his team, Hoosier Buckeye Racing, one of their best overall. Although it looks like the number 21 team of Jim Fott not able to show it at the end. Both had pace, and Tyler Hampton was able to capitalize. Starting fourth and finishing second, Tyler, tonight seemed to be one of your best races on the calendar, again proving you've got the skills at the short track.
Yeah, it was overall it was pretty fun. Me and Jim was both looking forward to this dirt race. That was our background and what we grew up doing. So we knew coming here we'd have as good a shot, if not a little bit better than others, of running at least up front for the race. And things went my way a little bit, and unfortunately he got caught up in something and kind of got some wheel damage and put him behind. But yeah, it was it's about time to finally put some top 5 finishes together back to back.
Consistency is going to be key toward the final races of this season, Tyler. That is for certain. Last time you came down to Bristol, you had yourself a strong performance going. Of course, that was the asphalt configuration. This track, much different. You seem to be a strong short track racer through and through. How different is it for you to adapt, though, to the different type of track, of course, it being dirt?
Well, like I said, dirt's more of my wheelhouse, so, and I run dirt quite a bit there here on iRacing, so it was pretty easy for me. And short track's just what I grew up doing, so that kind of style of racing fits my driving a lot better. And these cars kind of threw me for a curveball, just how much they depend on drafting, as opposed to if you're being faster than somebody, you can set him up and pass him. So, but yeah, the short tracks fits right up my wheelhouse, and just a style of racing I like.
Up next on the calendar, perhaps the complete opposite of which is going to be the intermediate cookie cutter type circuit for our next race in 2 weeks' time. You're pulling yourself up the calendar, of course, and you're pulling yourself through the point sheets. Up to 10th from last week. You should fall, of course, a little bit higher now as we recalculate the points. Is it now room for improvement to go even further as we head back to our more traditional circuit?
Yeah, points-wise, I think I can still come up there and pick up a couple spots, but I've just had too many bad finishes early in the year to have any kind of contention to do anything with the win. But I'll put some top 5s together the rest of the season, and the points will shake out where they need to, and we'll just chalk it up and go for next year.
The 5 team is on the up and up now, making better runs than the last, and once again, P2 best on the calendar to this point. Tyler Hampton, anything more you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, just thank you for everything you do in the booth, and everybody that puts this on, and Jim and everybody at Hoosier Buckeye Racing. We'll look forward to the rest of the season.
The team pulls off the pole position, but Tyler Hampton gets the better of the 2 runs. 5 team, second place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Hampton on the move, one more driver to speak to, and that's going to be the number 64 of DJ Stagner. Last time DJ Stagner was in the FTN Broadcasting booth, it was Lucas Lodato who interviewed him, and he's back again with another podium finish in the Highline Racing League. Even though you didn't get the victory, it looks like now, DJ, you're still keeping yourself on the outer realm of the championship chase. With a podium finish like this, it's exactly what you needed to keep yourself in good spirits with that 64 team.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. There is not a world where I expected to be talking to you tonight. I really didn't. I thought I was gonna go like 4 laps down. So the fact that that went as well as it did, I'm very happy about. I'm happy just about the way everything went. Feel bad for Lucas, but it happens sometimes. It just happens. I don't even remember what you asked me. I'm that happy. I'll be honest. Yeah, championship. So we're still in it technically. Yeah, that's a positive. I don't know what the future holds, but I don't even know what track we're going to next week. I'll be honest. So yeah, we'll take it. We're still here. That's a positive. We're still here. We're happy about that. That's a good thing.
And now it's all about keeping that close range to, of course, not only your teammate Lodato, but also Scott Zellner. We're looking at the stat sheet. The only time you peeked into the podium was that run to the checkered flag. Otherwise, you were in the top 10 for the majority of the night, of course, but it only took that last lap to give you a real shot for the top 3. That breakout moment was late, so can you walk us through your perspective of the restart, the final one?
Well, I ran pretty much 4th through 6th most of the day. It was just it's really hard to pass here cleanly if you don't know what you're doing. And I, for one, had no clue what I was doing. So really, for me, I didn't do anything different on the last restart. They just kind of all self-destructed, and I just didn't. Like I just ran the bottom and just had a fairly clean lap. So I mean, there was no skill involved in that at all. It was all luck and everybody just kind of getting out of the way. But, sometimes that's part of the game, and we'll take that.
With luck on your side to finish the night off, 2 races remain for the 64 team. DJ, it looks like, of course, you're a former champion already, and you brought some new life to this team with the final weeks just ahead of us. You think now there's a chance to pull it together and keep that 3rd slot in the championship race alive?
Realistically, I don't know that there's enough time for me, just to be honest. But I don't know. I might keep some pressure on them at least. At least let them know that I'm here. That would be kind of fun. Play spoiler a little bit. Um, we'll see. I think Lucas is still in a pretty good spot, but Scott's. I think he's won 3 of the last 4 races, 3 of the last 5 races. So, I mean, he's really turning up the heat late. But I still think Lucas is okay.
Close quarters. Final races remaining. DJ Stagner avoiding the chaos and pulling
maybe
it
there's
together.
room to capitalize there. Maybe there's not.
DJ Stagner pulling it together, back on the podium again. Any final comments you'd like to leave us with?
Just shout out to everybody at Swamp. I mean, we had a pretty good race today. Like I said, gutted for Lucas, but it's just part of the game. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you get hit, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, he ran a great race, and like I said, feel bad for him, but shout out to Scott and all them. They ran a good race. I think Scott passed a ton of cars, so just shout out to all those guys. I'm happy that the front kept it fairly clean for the most part.
DJ Stagner, back-to-back top 3s and keeping the strong runs continuous on FTN. And the tie strips number 64. Find success once more. Thank you again for your time, DJ.
Thank you.
With Stagner on the move, those are your top 3 finishers. The Swamp sees Lucas Lodato drop big in the final lap from leader to 6th place, but DJ Stagner finishes in 3rd. Tyler Hampton gets it done for 2nd. You see them beating and banging across the line, and Scott Zellner wins his 22nd career race. And yes, his 3rd in the last 5 races. Zellner is keeping the window open when everyone else wants it slammed shut. 2 races remain now in the Season 19 the Westlake Royal Building Products Premier Series, and they are the most important of all. Not only does it come down to whether or not these drivers can pull it together, the top 3 for the championship race, but every other spot is up for grabs. We will race next in 2 weeks' time, May 22nd at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you tune in then and there. Until that point, you've been watching coverage from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway with the Westlake Royal Building Products Premier Series. I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Congratulations to Scott Zellner on his 3rd win of the season, and we hope you have a fantastic night.